Today, Nintendo released a megaton of information directly to you. So, without further ado, let's mash some buttons. Tiger uppercut! Shoryuken! One of the biggest pieces of news today was that they filled us in on some of the reasons why they delayed Starfox Zero. And as far as I'm concerned, they delayed the game to go through a regification process, in that the game is a lot more reggy. It kicks a lot more ass and takes a lot more names. What they've done is made the game more of a traditional Starfox game. Initially, they had planned to make the game a very pick-up-and-play experience where you could maybe pick up the game and play it for a few minutes and then easily come back to it later, but it would miss the grandiose feel of a Starfox adventure that we're typically used to experiencing. So what they've done is they've made the game look better. I think it looks a lot better, not just graphically. Maybe it's just that they weren't showing off certain areas, but one of the parts of the game in particular that they showed off today was artistically stunning and reminded me a lot of Metroid Prime and really got me more excited for this game. They have also improved the enemy AI and spent a lot of time on the placement of different enemies and just making the game a larger, potentially more cinematic single-player experience. But Starfox Zero wasn't the only Starfox Wiiu game that they shared information on today. They also unveiled an all-new companion game to Starfox Zero called Starfox Guard. If you remember a couple years back, Miyamoto had showed off a number of different tech demos that he was working on for games that would take advantage of the Wii U gamepad, and one of them was called Project Guard, which is now known as Starfox Guard. As it turns out, it definitely looks like a much more simplistic Starfox experience, but thankfully it'll be bundled in with the main Starfox Zero game if you buy it at retail. It does seem to skew a little bit younger or maybe a little bit more inexperienced in terms of the type of gamer that it's kind of directed at, but I'm certainly looking forward to checking it out, and will give more of my thoughts on it as the game releases. And the last bit of news on Star Fox is that both of the games, Star Fox Zero and Star Fox Guard, are still on track and scheduled to be released on April 22nd, which I think is pretty big news because the lineup for the Wii U is not very stacked this year, and they need to get that game out, and I'm happy that the game has progressed as well as it has, and I'm looking forward to playing it. In other Wii U related news, they showed an updated trailer for Lost Reavers, which is being developed by Namco Bandai Games and is an online action RPG game coming exclusively to the Wii U eShop. The game pits as many as 4 players together cooperatively online as they level up their characters using a variety of RPG elements and solve puzzles, and there seems to also be some survival elements, and the game really does look like a lot of fun. It graphically looks pretty good. It uses Unreal Engine. Now, before you wet your pants, it's Unreal Engine 3, not the latest and greatest Unreal Engine 4, but despite that, the texture work is rock solid in this game. It does seem to lack some of the more advanced dynamic effects like particle effects and some of the advanced lighting effects that you also see in modern games, but for a free-to-play experience, I don't think that you can really complain one bit. It looks like something that is worth checking out. They also gave some final details on Fire Emblem Cross Shin Megami Tensei, which is now known as Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE, in North America. I'm not going to talk too much about this game because it's been covered ad nauseum at this point, but, you know, you gotta love marketing, people. In the presentation today, Nintendo pointed out that because the game takes place in Japan, they decided to keep the original Japanese voice acting work, and they've added English subtitles to the game, which is pretty clever marketing on their part. I think that probably the main reason why the game still has the Japanese voiceover work is that they didn't want to spend the money to do English voiceovers. I happen to like the original Japanese voiceovers in games, so I got no problems with this, but I know there are definitely people out there that prefer English voiceovers, even though, in my opinion, they typically don't quite capture the original feel of the content. And for RPG fans, thankfully, we don't have to wait too much longer to get our hands on this game. It is going to be on store shelves in North America on June 24th. And now for the biggest Wii U news of the day. Mario Maker is getting some new tweaks. Just kidding. I'm not going to dwell on that one too much. The real news of the day was the official unveiling of the new Mario Paper game. A couple months back, this game was already leaked out by Emily Rogers, and the fact that this game has now been confirmed points to Emily Rogers having a little bit more credibility than she had before. And so I'm going to add her to Super Metal Dave 64 on my list of leakers who give out, good information. The game is officially known as Paper Mario Color Splash. It just seems like Nintendo is really interested in putting fun little quirks or twists into a lot of their games these days. And as far as twists go, I think this is a pretty good one. The game takes place on Prism Island with one major flaw in that the color is being lost all over the island, and you have to return it to its once beautiful state. It's not the most original idea. Of course, there is already De Blob on the Wii. There was already Epic Mickey with a similar idea. I think the game even takes a little bit of inspiration from Splatoon, but it does look really gorgeous and it looks like a lot of fun. So I'm going to give the game the benefit of the doubt right now, but it certainly doesn't get me excited the way the Thousand Year Door did on the GameCube, but I'm looking forward to checking this game out. Personally, I wish that Nintendo would just stick to some of their tried and true formulas for games and add more story to their games, better graphics, and continue kind of where they left off. I don't think they need to go down this path with a lot of their franchises, but I can definitely understand what they're going for. And after Splatoon was such a big success, I think that they're trying to make the game remind people a little bit of Splatoon. So maybe if you bought Splatoon and loved it, you might also love this game. And I think that they're probably trying to increase their awareness and sales on the Paper Mario franchise in this way. So that pretty much does it for Wii U news today. There were a couple other bits and pieces that I did not cover because it's getting a little bit long, and we're just going to end it there. I'll be back probably on the weekend where I cover the 3DS news that came out of the Nintendo Direct. Once again, give me your thoughts in the comments below, and I look forward to hearing from you guys. This has been Colin Unger, reminding you to keep your thumbs glued to YXBA, and always remember to select Start. If you enjoyed this video, click like and subscribe.